Yes, a very good afternoon to you tuned into UBC TV. It's Monday, the 23rd of October, 2023. My name is Michael Jordan Lokomwa, coming in with our lunchtime news today. Limited funds, social stigma and low access to information about HIV and AIDS have been attributed to as the major stumbling block in the fight against the scourge by the year 2030 in Uganda. This has been disclosed by officials from the Uganda AIDS Commission and other partners during a press conference that held at the Uganda Media Center, announcing the 3 days of National HIV and AIDS Symposium to take place at Kololo Airstrip from the 14th to the 16th of November 2023. We have the details here.
The Uganda AIDS Commission, together with our partners who are represented here, we have organized a national HIV and AIDS symposium, which is scheduled for November the 14th to 16th, 2023. It's a 3-day event, open to the public, free of charge, and it will be hosted at the Kololo ceremonial grounds. So the National HIV/AIDS Symposium encompasses 3 main events, all brought together. The first one is the National HIV and AIDS Scientific Meeting, all the science you would want to know. And there is an expert, one of our civil science representatives, who will expound on that, tell you about this scientific meeting. So the public has always had so many questions, and there are so many myths in the public. So it's their opportunity to come and interact, sit shoulder to shoulder with the scientists and get all your questions answered, so that you no longer make mistakes out of ignorance and misinformation. The theme for the symposium for this year is my responsibility towards ending AIDS by 2030.
We are happy, of course, to be associated with this particular theme of this symposium, my responsibility towards ending HIV/AIDS. The prevention of new HIV infections and or increasing accountability for those living with HIV/AIDS is a personal and collective responsibility. It's also, of course, the responsibility of leaders at all levels to ensure that the right information reaches all people at all times. It's our responsibility as stakeholders to ensure that HIV prevention, treatment, and care are provided to all people who need them without any hindrance.
Excellency, the President launched the Presidential Fast Track Initiative to end AIDS as a public health threat in Uganda by 2030. And the targets in that initiative are to have 0 new HIV transmission, to have 0 deaths from AIDS-related complications, and to have 0 HIV and AIDS-related stigma and discrimination. So the National HIV and AIDS Scientific Meeting and the overall symposium are well aligned with the goals of the Presidential Fast Track Initiative to end AIDS as a public health threat in Uganda.
I believe as young people, we have the most or the biggest responsibility to end AIDS by 2030. When you look at our statistics in Uganda, 1.4 million people are living with HIV in Uganda, but approximately 75% of these people living with HIV are young people. Recently, we had statistics that were saying that over 500 adults and girls and young women are getting HIV every week. So you can imagine, and all these are young people. So I believe that as young people, we have a biggest role to play, because HIV is among, can I say, not only among us, but mostly among us. So we need to come on board. We need to play our role. We need to be part of the HIV national.
The request here. The Uganda Human Rights Commission has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Archbishop of the born-again Pentecostal churches in Uganda to improve and regulate operations in the churches. This follows recent reports of human rights violations, a report by the Human Rights Commission, which exhibited some human rights gaps and violations within the Pentecostal churches.
I was personally moved when I received a video of members of the congregation being caned in a church by a pastor, and I thought maybe, of course, you are more knowledgeable in matters of God, but I thought that...
So we look forward to sharing information, consulting each other before reports are written, inviting each other to key functions held by both our organizations at least, so that we can create awareness among our constituencies about the different roles and functions among many other areas.
Very well, recently they released the report and they identified many human rights violations allegedly in the churches. We came and met them and presented our report to answer some of those queries. And as a result of that report, we agreed that we shall partner and become, not opponents, but come partners in enforcing human rights in this country, to provide justice, fairness, and peace for the underprivileged.
UBC Lunchtime News. Now, the term onward movers has emerged to describe refugees who seek better opportunities by relocating from one country to another. More than 1,000 individuals returned to refugee settlements in Uganda seeking refuge once again. They had initially left these settlements in search for better life, but found their lives unbearable in the refugee camps of Kakuma and central Kenya. The government has responded to this situation by tasking the National Agricultural Organization, that is NARO, with introduction of nutritious and fast-growing crops to alleviate food shortages within the refugee communities.
We are receiving majority, I should say 98% of the people received are coming from Democratic Republic of Congo.
Uganda currently hosts a refugee population of over 1.53 million individuals and asylum seekers. These refugees are accommodated in settlements across the southwestern, West Nile and northwestern districts of the country. They reside on government-owned land and receive support from both the government and various partners. Unfortunately, the availability of financial resources has dwindled due to the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, the war in Ukraine, and the global economic downturn.
We are having increasing numbers of refugees day in, day out, but each year we are having resources decrease. I think this is going to be very challenging for government, first of all, to support the refugee operation in the region, because it suppresses economically the different host districts in the different sectors. You see a lot of crowding in schools, a lot of crowding in health centers or hospitals. Of course, the road network within the refugee settlements, the districts, is being affected. But all of this can be handled and managed well for refugees and nationals within those areas to get better services if resources are available.
Consequently, there have been reductions in food rations and financial support to refugees, which prompted some of them to leave Uganda for Kenya, attracted by promises of a better life.
And what could have caused those movements, to me, I think, from the interaction I've had with refugees, it was about prioritization, where World Food Program decided, following the decrease in donor funding, decided to reduce on the food, on the rations, food and cash rations. So in Kenya, being in the camps, for them they were getting much higher quantities of food and money. So they thought that if they go to Kenya, maybe life will be better than here.
This migration occurred despite the freedoms accorded to refugees, including their ability to cultivate a 30 by 50 piece of land, engage in employment and business, and form associations, all in accordance with Uganda's refugee policy.
Yes, there are services we are giving. It's not like you look at food so that the whole family can survive. If the challenge is healthy, there are health services which are being given. If the challenge is education, there are other partners who are giving even up to scholarship at university, so that people can also get those assistance and continue. You get an individual is feeding on 400. So when you calculate really breakfast, lunch and supper, 400 cannot feed a human being in Uganda today. But because there was that prioritization, people think since it is cut off, then they have to go away.
This policy grants them full access to various aspects of life, with the exception of unlawful activities and national politics. Over 1,000 individuals, primarily from Ramwanja in Kamwenge, Chakatu in Chegegwa, Nachivale and Oruching in Isinjiro district, reportedly fled to Kenya.
So that's why you see the movement as of now is almost not there. It's very insignificant if it is there. Not as it was, where people were hiring buses and you could not even know. It was very syndicated because they knew there is a lot of expectation of a better life where they were going. But now they are helping us even talk to their fellow refugees that what they assumed is in Kenya is actually not the reality. And I think somewhere, somehow, their lives here are better off, because Kenya, it is camps. Some few who managed to sneak in were living in camps, which is not the case here.
However, they have since returned after realizing that Uganda's environment and approach to refugee assistance are more favorable.
But when they reached Kenya, they found that the situation in Kenya was worse compared to the situation of Uganda. Many, even UNHCR, even those who were not supported by UNHCR to come back, they deported them back to Rwamanja, because they saw that in Rwamanja, though we were crying that food is not enough, but they found that Rwamanja was still the best. So
these returnees are now referred to as onward movers and have resettled on the plots they were initially allocated, with the hope of eventually returning to their countries of origin once peace is restored.
Member states, like within the EAC, should try to advocate for peace within the countries of origin where these refugees are coming from. We have had and we are still having a very protracted refugee situation. Like for DRC, it has never stopped. It can cease, scale down, and then it comes in.
Refugees in Uganda receive modest food rations, stipends, land for cultivation, access to education and health care services, security and the freedom to engage in business, form associations and seek employment outside refugee settlements.
We don't have barriers because humanity is humanity, regardless of the color, regardless of the place you are from. All we contribute to the development, and this development we contribute, we again consume it. Because within these lots, if you can be able to give more taxes, we also move within the lots and the health centers and whatever. They all belong to us.
To combat shortages, the National Agricultural Research Organization has engaged immigrants in Chakatu and Nachivale refugee settlements this year in modern agricultural practices, focusing on cultivating quick maturing crops such as maize, potatoes, beans, cassava, and mushrooms.
Farmers are able to see if they deployed narrow technologies, say like bean varieties, cassava varieties, sweet potato varieties, what difference it makes on what they have been using. Working closely with our partners, especially Office of the Prime Minister, the UNHCR, NARO is able to make a significant change to the refugee communities.
Refugees have a challenge of firewood, energy to use to cook. So the beans, since they cook faster, that was one of the reasons. And also the taste is also good, and all those are their preferences. So these centralized demos have really contributed much to enable participatory learning. As you can see, farmers already, they are planting, they are observing how we do it. And again, when we give them seed, they are able to do the same. When they
The Indian Association in Uganda is to send 100 patients to India for treatment in January next year. Indians have been transporting and sponsoring Ugandans to Bombay for heart surgery for the last 15 years as a social corporate responsibility and giving back to Ugandans.
The chairman, Indian Association, Raju Sarin, has declared that 100 Ugandan patients are to be sent to India for treatment courtesy of association. This was during the 31st Grand Celebration Sindil Grand Pata Festival 2023, where several Ugandans received free eye dental treatment, among others.
And the key programs are basically, we have 3 programs. One is aimed at education, vocational education, scholarship, whereby we try to assist, or we do assist the children who need to be supported with a school fee. That's a basic support. And then those children of
the founder member of Sindhi community in Uganda, Dr. Pitamba Daluani, said they are to go ahead to support the needy Ugandans to access medication and other social amenities.
Yes, I'm ready. Jai Julelal. We celebrate since 31st year Kamocha Sindhi Ganpati Temple, and we do a lot of social works, feeding people, whoever needy, whatever they want. So we do a lot of charitable requirement for the schools and orphanage. So we always support all those guys, that whatever we can do with our community. So that is the best Ganpati festival is. So we are all here.
The chairman, Sindhi community in Uganda, Divanand Nainani, noted that every year they organize a medical camp and give treatment to those in need of it as part of the grand celebrations of Sindhi Grand Pata Festival.
Any number of the children, there is no problem. Whenever they come and approach us, we can do whatever they want, even study-wise, even anything they need support in any kind of support if they need, we are ready.
Dr. Saurabh Thaurani of King's Dental Surgery, Mawanda Road, added that they provide free dental treatment to over 50 residents of Kamwacha and promise to continue after the medical camp.
And this is the 31st year, and every year successfully this celebration has been conducted. But this year we have gone for one step ahead by putting eye checkup center along with blood with us, and that is why now we have we are doing a lot of social work in the field of medical, and along with like feeding poor kids, orphanage, and we are even planning to do some school sponsorships for the kids, for the needy kids. And let's God give us his blessing.
Kirimana Shaban of Nakasero Blood Bank noted that more blood is needed in the hospital, but the challenge is that people don't want to donate except students.
Mabas Cities Foundation, a local non-government organization, has taken a significant step towards achieving its mission of empowering girls through introduction of locally made reusable sanitary towels.
Decided to come up with this reusable sanitary pad, which you're going to get, and it will take you a full year. We pack 3 pieces, where you can use one this day, you wash it, iron it, clean it, then pack it and wait for another day as you're using another one. So this will take you a full year. You can use these 3 for a full year. Now we looked at another aspect, that is the environmental aspect, because we moved to different areas. We found that disposal is still a very big challenge in our communities. People end up disposing them everywhere, so it's affecting the environment. But also even incineration is very expensive, and it also damages the environment. So we said if someone can use this for a full year, that will check on the disposals that they throw every time on streets and everywhere. And then another aspect was the issue of health, because some of these disposable sanitary pads, they have some chemicals that are put there. But for us, we are making these reusable sanitary pads with the natural materials. We are using cotton, the fleece, and what. We are not adding there any chemical. So our issue, we just sensitize people, please use your sanitary pad. After that, wash it and keep it. Then you wait for another time.
We thank you so much for watching. Let's take a short break. Keep around.
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cashback every week. It's free of charge.
Wano nno tuli Bukoto era lero we tugenda okugaba pichi yaffe eri omwanguzi waffe wano we tuzze.
I'm so excited and I'm sure even all the people, all the staff at Kwaliwath are all excited. We thank you very, very much.
Myaka 25 nga MTN ewereza naye nga buli week tugaba pichi 5.
Very, very excited. I'm excited about MTN giving back to its customers. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much, MTN.
The fact that we have won really shows that people like Mama. Their services are really nice. MTN, your services are okay. The network is good. We are satisfied.
Chikola sense ne?
Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
So, you are ready to invest in Airtel's initial public offering? Good choice. I'm going to show you how to do it straight from your phone. First, you're going to want to make sure you have a Securities Central Depository SCD account. Dial *185*85# from your Airtel number. Choose Airtel IPO purchase from the available options. Enter your valid national identification number when prompted. Before you purchase, there are a few things you need to know. The minimum purchase is 2,500 shares. The share price is 100 Uganda shillings. Select the number of shares you wish to purchase. Choose your relevant broker for the purchase. Enter your Airtel Money PIN to confirm the transaction. Congratulations! You receive a confirmation message of your successful purchase.
UBC Business News. Now, the first Ugandan cohort of the Africa Leather and Leather Products Institute, based in Ethiopia, has constituted a cluster to harness economies of scale. This was after the business owners were trained for 7 days in Kampala on how to set up and operate as a joint leather subsector.
The boasts of sufficient and quality leather supply attributed to a booming beef cattle population and a rising number of tanning industries.
There is a big advantage for clustering of SMEs so that they can maintain the supply chain, they can work together to capacitate themselves, and even it will be registered officially so that they can receive all the support from the government, from NGOs, CBOs, and even from us as ALPI.
Unfortunately, most of Uganda's leather is exported in its raw form, with no value added to it, a challenge that the Ministry of Trade is committing to address.
There are lots of raw materials in our leather sector which are wasted, and we need to work together with the tanneries, to work together with the farmers to see that we can reorganize this sector and ensure that we prepare the raw materials like hides and skins, and we'll be able to benefit from value-added products in this area.
Moreover, over 800 leather SMEs registered in Uganda are facing steep competition from cheap substandard products, challenging their growth.
I have a bag I have made, it's a waist bag. Genuine leather, it's 150,000. I try to position it to a certain market, and then the people are telling me this is too expensive. They say, what makes it too expensive, yet this is genuine leather? And then they tell you, but we can get the same design from the market for 25,000.
There is a big market, by the way. There is almost, I know that there is almost so many students, they can benefit from that, even the army, even other government institutions. The moment they are coming together there, they have that capacity to produce a big quantity, then they can respond to all procurement, even from government.
The Kampala Leather Cluster will be guided by a newly instituted government secretariat in order to spawn for regulatory support. Wadulo Mark Arnold, UBC News in Kampala.
Government has put an effort to address the high demand for silverfish, locally known as mukene, and on the international market, local and international market, and add value to meet the international standards. The European Union, through the International Fund for Agricultural Development, has partnered with Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization and have earmarked $2 million to support the silverfish deals in Uganda.
Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization has mobilized 50 silverfish dealers from various landing sites for training in handling silverfish locally known as mukene. The training was at the Fisheries Training Institute, Entebbe. The Deputy Executive at Lake Victoria Fisheries Organization, Anthony Tabu, says part of the support will include improving technology of harvesting silverfish.
This is under a project which is funded by International Fund for Agricultural Development to a tune of $2 million. We are going to implement this project, which has three main components dealing with technologies. Improvement of harvesting, the way we capture mukene, utilizing solar energy. After harvesting, the technology for processing, we are going to train them in methods of improvement of the value along the value chain. We are going to procure a solar dryer to a tune of about $100,000 per country. We are also talking about strengthening these women groups in the packaging and we are targeting a total of about 3,000 beneficiaries, both women and youth.
The training provided silverfish dealers who are mainly women with skills in value addition, packaging and marketing, which is an advantage to people in silverfish business.
I'm a trader of mukene and I'm representing Masese Learning Site. We have been dealing in this mukene issue, but some of us did not know how to handle it. We did not know how to market it. We thought it was something just locally eaten. But they have taught us that the more we add value in our mukene, it can even go outside countries. We can reach an extent of exporting it. So I'm really grateful and I'm humbled. I'm also going to take this chance to go and teach other members at the learning site who have not been around.
There is need for the participants and beneficiaries of this training to utilize it by training others so that they can get market for the fish.
And this course is being done here and in two other countries in East Africa. So as we are here, Kenya and Tanzania are doing the same thing and training the same group of people.
Government is promoting silverfish on the international market because of its availability and high nutrition potential. Abiana Francisco, UBC.
Hello, Mom. How did you sleep? How is Salongo? Oh, Mommy, how is Grandma? And Simba, the dog, yeah, the funny one.
Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel Bona voice bundles. Dial *100*1#. Select Call Bona to choose bundles from as low as 1,000 shillings from daily, weekly, monthly, or bundles that don't expire. Call Bona on any network in Uganda with Airtel. A reason to imagine.
In the world of sport, KIU Titans shocked City Oilers as they beat them with a score of 65-63 to force the defending champions into a sixth game for the Uganda Basketball League playoff finals of 2023 at Lugogo MTN Arena on Sunday evening.
Won the fifth game in the Uganda Basketball Playoff Final Series as they shocked City Oilers to a 6-5-6-3 victory on Sunday evening at the Lugogo MTN Arena. Titans took over in the fourth quarter as this was their second victory of the series, making it a 3-2 in the favor of the Oilers. With this victory, they now set up a sixth meeting against the defending champions, and the results will determine the series champion or force a seventh game. This is the second time in a row that the City Oilers are going to Game 6, and this is the first time ever that the KIU Titans are reaching this far. The sixth game will be played on Wednesday, the 25th of October 2023 at the Lugogo MTN Arena. Marshall Miro, UBC News.
Mujinja Central Market twidi wano okubanga twedusa abantu okuwaayo kumbaga ya mwenemu nga bakozesa momope kati je Mujinja Central Market sobola okubanga tuwayana abatyambye momope neri kwogeza abantu obwama
tamu ndalo otemu mukaga otemu itanga otemu sita onige isatu onige ash onige yes. Aye nga tuwayo tikashi nga tuwayo nga tubita ku momope enkola ya MTN miga 70
Pay or shop with MTN Momo and get cash back every week. It's free of charge. Use the Momo app or dial *165 *3#.
We are running the program of parish development model. That is a model, a strategy that is supposed to enhance wealth creation by engaging 39% of the population that is not into the money economy. So far as a district, we have 56 parish development circles, and they have accessed funds. Last year we received about 560 million shillings, of which we have disbursed that money to them, and each beneficiary receives a maximum of 1 million shillings. Those PDM circles are into 56 parishes across the district, and so far they have no complaint about the disbursements and the receiving of the funds, which I think is a very positive note, because people have been talking about funds not being received elsewhere, but for Bushenyi, all those who have applied for the funds have received it, especially the revolving fund.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Joko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
So, you are ready to invest in Airtel's initial public offering? Good choice. I'm going to show you how to do it straight from your phone. First, you're going to want to make sure you have a Securities Central Depository SCD account. Dial star 185 star 85 hash from your Airtel number. Choose Airtel IPO purchase from the available options. Enter your valid national identification number when prompted. Before you purchase, there are a few things you need to know. The minimum purchase is 2,500 shares. The share price is 100 Uganda shillings. Select the number of shares you wish to purchase. Choose your relevant broker for the purchase. Enter your Airtel Money PIN to confirm the transaction. Congratulations! You receive a confirmation message of your successful purchase.
Yes, we thank you so much for watching, and on a number of occasions after the news we hold some discussion on a pertinent issue. Now, we all have grandmothers and these people are very important to us. I'm coming to know that they have a consortium and they have something that brings them together. So we want to get to know about what is going to bring them together. They have an international grandmothers gathering of 2023, and we want to know more about what it will involve and who will be there. Is my grandmother deep in Chiboga? Welcome. Is yours deep in Gago, Hoima, Kabale, Iganga? Also welcome in this consortium. I have two ladies here, a grandmother and somebody who will tell us why she is involved in the grandmother's business. On my immediate left is Canon Kaka Jole Babirukamu. You're most welcome, Mama.
Thank you.
And Miss Hilda Achayo. Canon is the national chairperson of the Grandmothers Advocacy.
Yes.
Under the Grandmothers Consortium.
Yes.
And Miss Hilda Achayo is the board member of the Grandmothers Consortium. Okay, first tell us about the Grandmothers Advocacy. Let's start with knowing what it is all about. Where you are the chairperson?
Well, the Grandmothers Advocacy was actually formed in 2015, bringing together 6 groups of grandmothers,
okay,
who are based in Jinja, in Buyikwe, in Mukono, in Ruero, in Rakai, Masaka, Kanungu, Rukunjiri, Rubanda, Ruchiga, and now a small group in Mpiji.
Okay.
Yes.
Why a small group?
We are just starting.
Which year was that?
It was, the consortium started 2015.
Okay.
But these groups have been in existence for a long time. Yes, for them they've been in existence. But bringing them together was...
That's the advocacy where you are the chairperson?
That's advocacy, yes. Yes.
Let Hilda tell us about the consortium and how she ended up there, because I don't think she's a grandmother yet.
Yes. Thank you very much. Just to build on what Jolie is saying, the consortium equally started in 2015, and this brings 6 organizations from the different regions that were earlier mentioned. We have Reach Out Mbuya Community Health Initiative, there is Nyaka, we have PEFO, and we also have Chitovu Mobile.
Okay.
So these organizations are located in the different districts that were mentioned. And of course, what brings us together is that we have one donor who has been supporting the initiatives, that is the Stephen Lewis Foundation. And they have taken us through this journey over these years.
Okay.
So that the grandmothers have a platform where they can voice their concerns.
I was actually coming to that.
Yes.
What does the consortium do for these grandmothers? And these districts sound very few. We have almost 100 and something districts. Why only those? Let's start with what the consortium does and why the districts are few. To you, Hilda.
Yes, the consortium basically provides a platform where these elderly persons are able to voice their concerns. In the different organizations, of course, they support different initiatives to do with livelihood and health. Of course, the focus was mainly HIV and AIDS, its effect and impact on the elderly persons. That's what was bringing us together, and to see what has been the impact on these elderly persons. So, yeah, they bring us together basically for that.
Kaka, how much do you think what she says has been scored?
Well,
at what rate out of 100?
No, I think about 50.
50?
Yes.
Because me, I don't give it even 10. The level at which we see grandmothers suffering in this beautiful country of ours. Today you will see her being, actually just yesterday we had news of them. They are the victims of land grabbing.
Yes.
They are the victims. They have grandchildren beating them. People are selling land without thinking about them. Their land titles, a lot of bad things are happening to them. So has the consortium or the advocacy really achieved what Hilda is telling the world?
We have tried to achieve. We have tried to approach different government officials on different issues. We've been able to meet the one of HIV/AIDS, the Minister of Health, especially advocating for our rights when we go to the hospital. That we need to have at least a line. A line for ourselves. We don't need to stand in the with the rest. We need to have chairs where to sit. We need to have a doctor who understands our uncommunicable diseases, and also having medicine for us. Because the grandmothers goes there, and at the end of the day they say, okay, you have pressure, you have this and this. Now take this note and go and buy medicine from the pharmacy. And the grandmother does not have it. And this is a grandmother who also have walked a distance carrying a grandchild. Has walked a distance and has carried a grandchild, and on purpose of reaching there after prescribing whatever it is, then they say, please carry the grandchild somewhere to get the medicine. So we are advocating for our rights in as far as health issues are concerning. We are advocating for our rights as far as land grabbing is concerned. As well, you very well know that the grandmothers are the most affected people. And we are advocating for that. We have not reached out in that one. But we are also advocating for our education. We are advocating also for wherever they give out money, they give it to young people. Like the women education, the women's fund for money. And
the women entrepreneurship something.
Yes.
Yes.
And we advocated for that. They had, put the age at 65. We advocated for that. They raised the age. So we're able to access the funds, much as grandmothers don't know exactly what to do.
I was going to ask you, because I've heard there is the SAGE.
Yes.
This money that is given to elderly people. Now we are talking about grandmothers.
Yes.
You are also advocating that with the women's window, they think about you.
Yes.
What are the chances of successfully investing as grandmothers, investing money?
Well, the chances are, in our own organizations, we have managed to get what we call a revolving fund, which we have advocated from our donors. And the grandmothers actually using that one. And like the group I work with in Nyaka, they get that revolving fund at the percentage of 1%, which really helps the grandmother. So the grandmothers are really capable of making some money, doing business. Really? Now when it comes to the issue of SAGE, it's very unfortunate that some grandmothers were given the wrong age. They were given the wrong age. Those were supposed to be 80 years, were given like 65 and so forth. And so they cannot access the SAGE money. And others, because of the NIRA, because of the national identity card, some of them don't have the IDs. And therefore that one also is a hindrance to them to get the SAGE. But at the same time, we also have grandchildren. Whenever the grandmother picks money, the grandchildren comes and grabs the money from the grandmother. So we have so many challenges as grandmothers. So that's why you've got to advocate for our rights and for our protection.
What are those practical things that you do to advocate for these rights?
The practical things...
The young people will tell you where we need to demonstrate, they go on the streets. They are running with police whereas they try to go to parliament, and sometimes they achieve it. They get to the speaker, put in petitions and things like that. Where they need to go fight with the police, they do. Grandmothers, what are ththose practical things that you're doing?
For us, we have approached it in a diplomatic way. We've been to the Minister of Gender many times, and we've met the Commissioner for Elderly, we've met the Minister, we've met the National Council of Elderly Persons, and we have told them our challenges, shared with them. Some of them are being considered, others, like the National Elders Bill, we participated in that. It is still being held in the Parliament. And we're still advocating for that one to come out.
Hilda, what do you think explains, I would say, the low vibrancy of the consortium and the advocacy in as far as touching the judges' issues is concerned? Because personally, I'm hearing about it today and now. So imagine our judges deep in Kabale, deep in Gulu and Arua, deep in Igang and all over upcountry areas. So what explains the low vibrancy?
Okay, of course we mentioned where we are right now.
Yes.
And usually we are constrained because of funding, and that's why we have started small in those locations. But otherwise, the national level activities that Jolie speaks about includes everyone. But at the local level, I just wanted to add that these grandmothers have a level of engaging even the sub-county authorities to critically check on the budgets as to whether grandmother activities are being factored in there. So they are doing some work in there, and once they get those issues, they blow it up at the national level to include everyone. So in as much as we are in a few districts, when it reaches the national platform, the voice is heard to the whole country.
What kind of plans do you have to see that all the judges are touched in the whole country?
That is a long-term plan, but for the start, even as we enter into this gathering, as we go to this gathering for the next 3 days, at the end of the day we'll have a statement with the judges coming up with priorities on where they feel that the stakeholders have to address their needs. It's not going to be a paper of the 100 who are seated in the conference, but rather it will be publicized at a national level, shared with the ministry, and there we are sure that it can reach the other population. But we are not even limiting it to only our context in Uganda, but there is also an upcoming conference in Zimbabwe around December that is going to talk about HIV, AIDS, and STIs. That paper will equally be presented in that platform, meaning that it will also go internationally.
Okay.
Yes.
Jaja, you have your sisters and brothers who are representing you people in Parliament. How much, what role have they played to help the consortium and your advocacy? They are judges in Parliament currently.
Yes, we do have them. I just cannot tell. I don't want to tell a lie. We have not had them coming to us, and they know we exist. But they have not come to us to say, this is what do you want us to say for you, and so forth. But what we've done for us, we have approached the National Council of Elder Persons, and we believe that through that council they are able to pass on the message to them. Before we had the chairman, who was very much active with us, Mr. Honorable Tebasimwa. Now he's a member of Parliament. But that one was really very much concerned with our judges when he was the chairperson of National Elders Council. Now we are still working through the National Elders Council, but at the same time we have also talked to our minister, Honorable Dominic Yidudu. We have had an interaction with him, and he's actually coming to open our gathering tomorrow. So for him, he's aware of what is going on, and we really appreciate.
Some of these arrangements, there are complaints about some conferences and these arrangements ending in Kampala. You have a feeling for your sisters and brothers, judges, especially your sisters up country.
Yes.
Before we talk about the gatherings, after the gathering, how do you think you're going to touch them, those in upcountry areas?
One of the things is the statement we are going to give. We are going to pass on the statement to the government that will touch every grandmother throughout the country.
But you know, many of these sisters of yours cannot read. Those who can read, they can't afford glasses like you.
Yes.
So how are you reaching them?
One other thing is, when we pass on this statement, we want to pass on this statement also to the members of parliament who represent us in different regions. We believe that this statement,
through them you will reach these others.
We'll be able to reach others. That is, I believe that will also work. And also through the Ministry of Gender, we have the Commissioner for Elderly Person who is very, very passionate about grandmothers. And when this statement comes to him also, I believe it will be able to cut across the country to reach other grandmothers that are not part of our groups.
Okay, let's talk about the Grandmothers Gathering 2023. What is it all about? Where is it going to be? And who is not invited?
Well, we have invited about 100 grandmothers from these districts that we mentioned, from the 6 groups. It is going to take place at the Popopor Memorial Center.
That is in Endeavour.
In Endeavour, from today 24th to 26th.
Oh, it starts today?
Yes, they are arriving today from up country. And we shall be having a 3-day activities, focusing on major issues. I will be talking about policy, like legal policy framework for older persons in Uganda. We shall be talking about the role of National Council of Elder Persons, improving service delivery for grandmothers. We shall be talking about social protection. We shall be talking about health, and in that case, we shall be talking about HIV/AIDS. Most of the grandmothers were affected. They were, they lost their children through HIV/AIDS, and they were left with grandchildren to be taken care of. And some of the grandchildren actually HIV positive.
True.
So you find grandmothers are struggling with their grandchildren, and they don't have much to support them. So one of the other things we'll be discussing life skills on how to make sure that these grandmothers are able to take care of the grandchildren. But I think mostly it will be seeing what the grandmothers can do, and also socializing, coming together. They are going to come together and get to know each other.
The other thing I had forgotten, who is a grandmother? Because there are people of Hilda's age who were blessed early enough and they actually have grandchildren.
Yes.
People of my age who were blessed early enough and they have. So must somebody have some color on the head?
Not necessarily.
Or
because even
must you have some grandchildren?
Not necessarily, because even the people of my age, the color is not my hair. It's not this.
Yes.
It is still black. In the African context, you may have a child when we are 14 years.
Yes.
And then, unfortunately, your daughter, when she turns 15, she also has a child.
Jaja, why do you say that is unfortunate?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that is early. That is
okay. In that context, you're right.
Yes, in that context, yes. So you find somebody becomes a grandmother at age 32.
True. So are those welcome in the gathering?
Yes, we have some, not necessarily age 32, but we have some grandmothers who are about 45 years of age.
Yeah. And they are part of the group?
They are part, yes, they are welcome because they are grandmothers, they qualify.
So it's not about age, but
it's not about age.
Being a grandmother.
Being a grandmother.
Thank you so much for that clarification. Yes. So Hilda, Jaja has thrown a lot of light about the gathering. What would be your addition, especially about today, the arrival, the venue, and things like that? Most of our judges have not been to these expensive places. So what is the arrangement like for them?
The arrangement is quite basic, something friendly, a friendly environment that can make the judges comfortable. Of course, we are aware of those things, and usually they come accompanied with the different staff. Yeah, who accompany
like you accompany the judge here.
Yes. They come accompanied so that we make sure that they are comfortable. Of course, today they are reporting. Tomorrow we open the event, and given they are adult learners, there's going to be a lot of fun activity, which they will carry on themselves, so that it is not a lot of talking of the policy documents and so on, but they have fun, they can model, you know, and have a bit of fun.
So there will be serious talk and entertainment.
Yes, there will be
for
serious
them.
talk and entertainment.
There's something we have not touched. What are the plans of, we have talked about touching them, ensuring that services reach them, but adding other districts on the 6 that we already have. What plans are there?
You know, the problem is the funding, which is the problem. Because we have one specific fund, the Stephen Lewis Foundation, that is from Canada, that is funding.
So if we get more?
So if we get more, we want to involve the government. If we had an opportunity to involve the government, since they have the National Elders Council, through that one, we could also touch the grandmothers through that. But you know what is the most important thing is that they need money. We need to train them. We need to take them out for conferences, you know, a lot of activities that need funding. And I don't think the government has thought about the grandmothers. We actually call the grandmothers the unsung heroes. Unsung heroes. They are the heroes that have raised the current generation, but nobody has considered about them.
Actually, generations.
Generations, yes. But the current one, because of HIV/AIDS, and now recently even COVID, as you find some grandmothers have remained with some grandchildren because of COVID.
True.
So we pray that when we go through the government, one of the other things is we've been advocating to reach and be able to meet the president and also tell him our challenges. And also tell
him being a judge also.
Being a judge, and Mama Janet being a judge. And since he's a judge of so many, I want to identify with him.
Okay.
So we pray that one day we'll have an opportunity to meet him.
You know, tell him that our brother, we are your sisters, we want to see you.
Yeah. Actually, Your Excellency would love to meet with you and even Mama Janet and tell you the challenges of the grandmothers deep down the villages that are looking after orphans and vulnerable children. And the grandmothers themselves are vulnerable. Some of them even don't have houses. Actually, one of the things we've been doing is building homes for them. Putting up a house, kitchen and pit latrine, and also giving a revolving fund. And interventions like mattresses, hose, and other things, implements that they need to use in their homes.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Yes.
The sports people want to go on air.
Yes.
Hilda, what would be your message to young people like you who support judges? That will be your last one.
Yeah, my message out there to the young people, let's be supportive to the elderly persons. They need our care. They need our support. And also, as I conclude, as chairperson for the gathering, I'm asking the people out there, of course, on the last day, Thursday, we shall get on the streets a bit for and march a bit in order, yes, to popularize the elderly persons' concerns. So come and join us, and we add to the voice of the judges.
Jaja, what would be your message to sisters and brothers judges as we wind up?
The message to the judges is that don't lose hope.
Okay.
That's the most important thing. That we are still very useful. Very, very useful. That is the message that I send. And I send the message to people out there who are really disorganizing and disturbing the judges and depriving them of their own rights.
Yes.
Please stop. The judges are also human beings. And you know, to us judges, you know, if you disturb a judge, you carry a curse. So I'm not saying we are cursing them, but they should know that they need blessings from us more than curses by taking care of us and loving us.
So we are gathering starting today up to
26.
Okay.
Yes.
We thank you so much, Jaja and Hilda. Jaja is Canon Jaja Jolie Babirukamu. She's the national chairperson of the Grandmothers Advocacy. And Hilda Achayo is the board member for the Grandmothers Consortium. We thank you so much for coming and the information we have shared. Wishing you all the best during the gathering.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. To you watching, please support that Jaja around you. Like she told you, for blessings, you choose the other way, you take the curse. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the afternoon.